Hello, my name is Chadley, and welcome back for another episode of Victoria 3 as Merina Kingdom. In previous episode we managed to capture Amhara. Well, we got Amhara that was part of Kaffa, and then there's Tigray, of course, was a little bit there. We also managed to incorporate Somaliland finally, so that gave us a bit more extra tax income. We managed to drop the taxes, although now we're losing a bit of money. It's not too bad though, as long as the radicals start going down, so the turmoil, especially in the Ethiopia region, will start dropping. Because in Madagascar, there's not really much in there in terms of that stuff. We were trying to pass the freedom of conscience, but then we're about to have another revolution. So this one's going to be going up to 72 points, so that's not too bad yet. We'll try to get the wealth voting so we can get a little bit of shift in the politics in there. And we have increased the military size at least a little bit in here. Although it seems like it's, well, we've got 21 barracks in here right now, and then we've got another 7 over here. So we've got 28 total in there right now, and hopefully we can, well, we are expanding the military size even further, and these barracks are luckily done fairly quickly. How's the infrastructure levels over here in Amhara now? It's well, we got 68% market access, so it still needs quite a bit more. I'm sure that it will slowly get better and better. What are we getting in the other sections in tech right now? So in society we are getting, oh, postal savings. Extra cash reserves, farmers, investment pool contribution efficiency, and shopkeepers, investment pool contribution efficiency. Okay, that's pretty decent. Maybe if we could get central banking as well, that'd be quite nice. More minting. We could take on debt or bankroll, although we can't really take on anyone's debt, really. If we're quite honest. Oh, and then in production, we are getting, oh, silver railway cars. Actually, that's really useful. Because that is, in fact, going to allow, oh wait, no, that's not spreading. It's the mechanized workshop. Okay, well, that's also quite nice. That's gonna give us the sewing machines in textile mills, mechanized looms in textile mills, mechanized workshop in furniture manufacturers, and vacuum canning, which means that we can start using our oil for something. And then, oh wait, no, that, right, vacuum canning is over here, but it leads to it at least, so we can eventually get that. Chemical bleaching would be quite nice for our glass production as well. Or porcelain production, rather. So that's probably gonna be the next one that is gonna start spreading anyway. At least we're slowly improving our military techs here. We are still getting the field works, which is just going to increase the defensiveness of our troops. Yeah, army defense plus 10% and minus 5% morale loss, so that is quite nice. And then there's rifling after that, I suppose, crew frigate, but that is... we might let that spread on its own, because already getting these will, well, getting the mobile infantry, or skirmish infantry rather, already helps quite a bit. So, Mara, we are at 19, so we could declare war on there. Let's have a look. Conquer State, Mara, I don't think there's gonna be anyone opposing me, so we'll just do that. It's gonna be one of those forever wars anyway. It's 5 infamy. That'll probably be alright. So is anyone leaning to any side? Not really. We can't invite France in. Or we could try, but they wouldn't join. Let's go ahead and take this army, mobilize it, put it on the front line there. So the enemy doesn't have any troops yet, at least. Do they have any? No, they don't have any conscription centers either. So yeah, I don't think we need to worry about enemies in this particular war. We could even do a landing in there. Well, I suppose if someone else joins their side, then we might have a problem. But right now, it's not too bad. Right, the freedom of conscience is still 71% radicalism. Pretty bad, but it's not the worst. If we could pass the wealth voting, then that would allow, in the next election, we could probably get rid of the, well, not rid of, but like the Conservative Party might not be the leading party anymore after that. At least that's what I'm banking on. I'm not entirely sure if that's going to happen. We'll give it a try. So we've got 21% chance of passing this law, 22%. So it's a fairly decent chance that we can pass it. Oh, public address goes over I guess we won't pass that then. I don't want to lose more stuff there. Right, so is there any other laws that we could pass? We could go for the laissez-faire. Well, that would radicalize everyone, so probably not. We could try going for the professional army once again, although I suppose what we'll need to do is we'll need to wait a few days. Trade unions would be radicalized by that. Rule folk do endorse that one, to be fair, and our forces definitely endorse that. I'm going to go for that one. At least that's going to mean that the mill techs are going to be a bit faster to do. And no one's joining on this war, so we should be able to get this war done quite easily. We're going to use the fleet to then do a landing over there to speed up things a little bit. But during this war, I'm expecting the infamy to go down, to some degree anyway. Because it takes quite a while for the preparation phase in here anyway. So no one joined the war. And our advance, I mean, we're going to take that one, then we'll just activate the... Oh, we don't have an admiral right now. Okay, that's probably something we should fix. We do have fleets, just don't have an admiral. Although we only got 10 fleets total, so it's not that massive. We'll go with the meticulous. Doesn't matter all that much. So we captured that, I presume. Let's just go ahead and do a landing over there. Where that army. Revolutions brewing, contested government, low market access, right, in Amhara. Oh, we can support more interests. Oh. Right, we must have lost the one in Congo due to things. Not entirely sure what things. I'm gonna put one in South Africa this time around. And once we get Mara, we can get the interest from Arabia to put that into Nile, for example. Or something like that. But now we'll have interest all along the eastern coast of Africa. At least up to the Horn of Africa. I mean, if we get one in Nile, then that would be all of the eastern coast of Africa, then. That we could do our things in. We're going to get another glassworks in Amhara soon. Now that's probably going to be, well, I suppose with the market access being what it is, it's probably not going to be all that much money. But it does help, admittedly. Right, so how's the... Oh, there we go, we did the landing. France colonized Northern Cape, okay. Oh, now everyone's damaging related with me. Alright then. Mechanized workshop. Okay, let's have a look at the urban stuff here. So, textile mill, you're going to get the sewing machines. That's going to increase the dye use a little bit. That's not too bad, though. It's going to increase the clothing production as well quite a bit. We're going to put the mechanized looms to reduce the labor use. Then, mechanized workshop in furniture manufacturing. That's actually going to increase employment a little bit. But also, the amount of furniture that we produce is going to be massive. All the increase in there is going to be massive. So that's quite nice. I believe that was pretty much all of it that we just unlocked there. Now, I suppose one of the things that I could do is increase the... Well, I suppose we'll just wait until we get dynamite. Because the nitroglycerin is usually not necessarily all that smart way to increase your production. I mean, it's a bit of a desperate way because it increases mortality quite drastically. Oh, there we go. Our legitimacy is now 61%, or 61. So that is at least slightly better. And the enemy should be... Well, I suppose they are losing... So in 3 weeks, they'll be in the negative war support. After that, they should be... Well, now in 2 weeks, they should be much more willing to take the peace offer. They don't have a lot of gold reserves, but we'll need to reduce the industries in here drastically because it's just... They built way too many things. They don't have even nearly enough population. That's kind of the problem with the AI, with just like small populations. They don't realize that they can't build up all of that stuff. And they'll just keep building more and more buildings, hoping that somehow they'll get some people in there, but they usually don't. I suppose I could have a look at the standard of living. It's 12.7, so it's not even all that great. Now, admittedly, partially that might be because of the war, but still. Let's get the peace done. There we go, so that's going to allow us to save a little bit more money. This one's at 0 GDP right now. Oh, right, the port probably doesn't have the cargo stuff. And then, tooling workshop, we are going to reduce this to... Oh, hold on a bit, can I not? We should be able to decrease the sizes in here. King intervenes. Oh, yes. I will take that. Although Intelligentsia won't like us at all right now. So the tooling workshop, hold on a bit. It's not allowing me to reduce it. I think this might be one of those cases where a reload might help. Or is this... Like, I don't think there should be anything preventing me from doing that. The lead mine will still keep going. We'll put in the condensing pump engine there. So we can get a bit more lead into the market. But like, we should be able to reduce the industries in here, but it's just not doing that. So I'll be back in a few moments. Okay, so we still can't reduce it. Is there... Oh, right, because there's a revolution we can't downside. Okay, well that makes sense. Oh, and there's the production methods reset thing. We'll put those in. I don't suppose, can I... No, I can't do it from there. I suppose I can just do the resets through here. That one doesn't have any. That one doesn't have any changes to do. So it's already on the things. Alright then, furniture manufacturing. Is the wheat farm already on... Okay, oh, it's a wheat farm, right. Soil enriching farming for sure. We're gonna get some wine produced in here. But yeah, I suppose once the revolution is over, we can then hopefully start reducing the buildings in here, because there's way too many buildings in here to be profitable in any way, shape, or form. Are they at least getting a bit of a... No, they're getting a little bit pop increase in there, but it's very tiny. Oh, we're getting the field works in 7 days. That's good. That means that we'll then get the... We'll get the rifling underway. That's gonna be good. After that, the screw frigate. But after that one, we might go for the steel railway cars. Oh, there we go. Postal savings. Some extra cash reserves are slightly increased. It doesn't increase the credit all that much. Maybe it does actually a little bit. Although not necessarily directly. I believe that increases the cash reserves that the buildings can have, which then of course increases the debt that you can have. So yeah, it does increase the debt you can have overall. We could do a war against Tigray. Well, actually no, we can't, but we could damage relations with them. Slowly but surely. They're not improving relations with us. Germany is damaging relations. Okay. Let's go and improve relations with Germany. Although if they do declare war on me, then France would join that, I reckon. And France is probably one of the strongest nations. It's number 2, Germany is number 3 great power. The difference in military, or the basic military, is the same in terms of size. Of course, okay, our power protection from France's army is 5,000. Whereas Germany is 5,400, so the Germans actually probably have a slightly better army. Overall. I suppose part of that is because they probably have the professional army or something, which we're trying to pass, but well, now we've got almost 30% chance of passing it, admittedly, so we might get it through this time around. And now we're just waiting for the infamy to drop down a little bit further so we could do the war against Gondar, although I suppose, or Tigray to get the part of Amhara that they still have. Although technically speaking, that is 17 points. So if we just wait for, like, I don't know, 5 infamy, we could probably do the war already. They will have a lot of conscripts, to be fair. At least in theory. So they must have, like, well, they probably have... Oh, right, they can only have 5. That's the national militia stuff or something. So they do have light infantry and mobile artillery as their units there, but what about the barracks? That's just irregulars, okay. So, yeah, I believe that would be the national militia, yeah. Because it's only the max 5... levels in there, you get a lot of mobilization through that. And at least you can change the relation with Tigray damaged. Oh, do they still have slavery then? Yes they do, they got slave trade. Backroom dealings exposed. Do we still have no, actually I don't think we do. I'm going to take the minus 15% there. I don't want to necessarily lose bureaucracy right now, because we're trying to accumulate enough to be able to start incorporating Oromia. We still need at least one more government administration building, which, to be fair, we got 2 underway. So once we get those built, it should be fine. In the meanwhile, how's the infrastructure? Okay, we got 66% in Amhara, so it's slowly getting better. Although once we conquer this, there's probably going to be a lot more stuff that we'll gain from there. Yeah, it's going to be another 50. Well, 50 or so. So yeah, that's a decent bit, I suppose. Right, so if the revolution could just, you know, bugger off, we could fix Yemen at least a little bit. In the meanwhile, we'll reduce the relations with Kathiri so we can then start expanding further in here. Slowly but surely we'll take all of Yemen. We could maybe take Oman as well at some point, although they are part of Egyptian market. Oh, Confederates are fighting against Egypt. What is this war about? Upper and Middle Egypt. Why are the Confederates coming in here? I mean, I suppose there's a potential for cotton plantations in here, so maybe that's that. Or just the opium, I don't know. They're trying to get into this area. A little bit surprised by that, but admittedly, they haven't been able to do a landing yet. They've taken a lot more wounded and dead than the Egyptians have. Whereas Egypt just wants war reparations from this war. Right, we're down to 7.6. I think we'll wait until we go to, like, 5 infamy, and then we can maybe do the war against Tigray, get the Amhara at least. Although, if we just go all the way down, we could just take Gondar, and then there'd be just a tiny bit of land in there, which wouldn't really cause issues at that point. But I suppose we'll go, like, we'll get the entire state of Amhara first. Do they have any government administration in there? They got 1. What about over here? They've got 0. Okay. We're still losing a bit of money, but it's actually slowly getting better. Still got quite a bit unrealized taxes, but I suppose the radical numbers are slowly dropping. overall, and the loyalists haven't really increased all that much, let's be honest. Now, I'm really hoping that we can get the professional armies done sooner rather than later. We're going to get another university done in Amhara this time around. So that's, actually, there is a decent bit of unemployed still there. And there's a lot of peasants in Oromia, which, to be fair, is good. We could potentially get a bit more money from the logging camps there. But at the same time, I suppose the turmoil being as high as it is, the construction efficiency is a bit reduced. Until we incorporate that, the police aren't going to have enough of an impact over here. But at least over in Somaliland, the turmoil is now around 50%. Although it's actually higher than in Oromia, let's be honest. Bureaucratic imbroglio. Oh, wow. How many failed attempts can we have on this law? Damn it. Well, that'd be 5 years working as a system, minus 5% bureaucracy. I guess we're not going to pass that law then. There's just no way that we can get through that, really. Okay, is there any other laws that we could try passing then in the meanwhile? And there's the wealth voting, but that would potentially be... I mean, I would still like to try that. But the landowners would be radicalized from there, so that's a potential issue right there. We can't change the taxation to proportional one yet. We need the... No, we don't have anyone supporting that. Okay, well that would do part of it then, I suppose. So what do we have the movements for? We got the freedom of conscience. If we try passing that one, it's not necessarily going to pass. I suppose what we'll do is we'll try passing the wealth voting again. Even though it might not pass. Landowners hate that drastically, but it's actually not quite as bad as I was dreading it to be. Oh, and Confederates... Okay, there's a truce, but there's no war reparations as far as I can tell. So it was probably a white peace between Egypt and Confederates. Okay, the landowners are still powerful, just about. But if we could pass that one before the next election, that'd be brilliant. Right, so we're down to 6.4 infamy, so I suppose we could do our war against Tigray now. Got some rivalries in there. Tigray, Amhara. How are our relations with Britain, first of all? Cordial. We could improve them a little bit further. Then if I declare war on Tigray, it will allow us to keep on improving the relations. France is probably still pretty good in terms of relations with us. And Egypt... probably doesn't care too much, so that's going to be 17 infamy, so that's going to get us close to 25 again. But I think we're going to afford it. It's one of the reasons why we're not going over 25. If we're going to... Oh, we don't have a general in Ethiopia right now. Okay, well, let's fix that then. Defensive strategies, expert defensive strategies. That would be a landowner. I'm going to get the rural folk. That I can command 26 battalions, so that will already be pretty decent. It would be this one, so I'll put you on the offensive there. And we'll hopefully break through the enemy ranks there easily enough. If need be, we can send in the troops from Madagascar as well, but I'd rather not send them in yet. Largely because, you know, we don't have that much people in there. We're going to declare another interest, though. I'm going to put that in Egypt, or the Nile, so we can potentially expand down that way as well at some point. Not yet, mind you, but once we get a bit more military and all that. Speaking of which, we could probably increase the military size over here by another 5 battalions. So we can get up to a total of 40 in here. More or less. So this doesn't seem like anyone's leaning any side here. So this should be just a one-on-one. Then what about Kathiri? How much do you have... oh, how much would it cost us to conquer your state? 5.88 for me. Okay, that's not too bad then. Oh, France took Japan's there. Okay. Now they got an obligation in there. Well, good on them, I suppose. Oh, Burma is part of the French market. Oh. So who else is part of the French market these days? So it's Ottoman Empire. Us, of course. Then there's Tripolitania. That doesn't surprise me. Then there's Burma, and then there's Need. Okay. Well, that's quite an interesting ensemble, that's for sure. We're still trying to support the rural folk, or bolster the rural folk, so that should reduce the landowners and devouts voter base a little bit. Probably not enough, mind you, but a little bit. And we've got 1.4 million in debt again, so we're paying already 8,000 per week for the interest there. But I suppose the GDP is already at 28 million, so that is going up. The literary rate, it hasn't really gone up recently. There we go, the war has started. So we've got a little bit less troops on the front line. We've got some extras in there as defense forces. right now. We've got 26 versus 42, but we've got a lot higher offense than their defense. Of course, mud is slowing us down a little bit, and then there's morale. Oh, they lose more morale in this combat. Okay, so that's fine by me. And since we've got the various techs that we got on recently, like triage and the fieldworks, we are actually taking a lot less morale loss in here in general. Oh, now they dug in there, but that's not going to save them. Because they've already lost 90% of the... Well, actually more than 90% by now. 90% of the men there. A lot of that wounded and dead. Of course, not all of it. But quite a bit, so that should give us a pretty decent chunk of land. Law stalled. Oh, bollocks. We just can't get any laws passed these days, can we? We had a good start with the laws, admittedly, but then it stalled really heavily. I suppose let's have a look at the laws in here. So the biggest one would be... I really hate that. Oh, censorship. Well, we don't want to pass that one. Colonial exploitation is potential one. Oh, we've got bureaucracy. Let's start incorporating Oromia. We'll be going a little bit over our bureaucracy there for now, but should be fine. Rifling unlocked. Good. So now we need to set up some new research. I'm gonna get the chemical bleaching. After that, we're gonna get the steel railway cars. Then maybe something in society. Oh, we're getting the pharmaceuticals. I suppose we could do that, and that's going to allow us to get the health stuff going. And then maybe... Well, central banking would be quite nice. Of course, psychiatry would reduce the population cost multiplier from bureaucracy. That would be quite useful. Of course, in the military, well, the screw frigates... We'll just put these three in first. We'll see about the rest of it later. Right, we're getting even more food industry in northern Madagascar. They're not building anything in here, are they? No, not really. I mean, there is actually a bit of peasants in here. Well, alright then. So how's the unproductive trade routes? Oh, right. Trade routes. I forgot we had some of these. Okay, so that's not really making a lot of money. Let's have a look if there's any other good trade routes that we could do, for example, for export. Clothing might be good. Oh, Jing wants a lot. Okay, we can get a decent bit of money out of that. Sure. Then what else? Porcelain, we've got quite a bit. There's not... Oh, right, productivity. There's not really all that many markets that want a lot of it. Of course, fabric is another one that we could sell. Jing again would be over 1,000. Sure. Chinese market will probably be pretty good. I mean, it's going to take a little while before it starts sort of kicking in with all the income from there. It will slowly build it up. But at the same time, we're now making... well, actually, not really making a lot more money quite yet. I'm sure that it will get better. So, we're getting the chemical pollution in 5 to 7 months. That shouldn't be too bad. And how's the war going in here? We have one... Actually, have we won... Oh. If you want peace, they are the enemy. So, armed forces gain more approval rating, or we lose authority. Sure. We can reduce the relations with them a bit further. So now it's 25 versus 50, although in terms of manpower, it's 2 to 1 in the favor of the defender, but at the same time, our troops are just much better quality over there overall. So we should be able to win this, although we are taking quite heavy losses in here as well. But they are probably fairly close to surrendering the state there. I mean, admittedly, they're not losing all of their states there. So it shouldn't be too bad for them. So accept that peace deal. And now it's 10 battalions versus 5. Come on, surrender already. There we go. So that's another victory there, and 2 weeks, and the war support is below 0. So that will allow us to get the peace deal soon, hopefully. Now, all of these fighting is reducing the manpower that we have available in here, although not too badly, I reckon. Not too badly, but it does reduce it to some degree. How's the infrastructure levels in here? It's now 72%. Okay, well, that's at least slowly getting done. Oh, we're actually losing a battle there. But they are almost ready to accept the peace deal. I suppose after this battle, we could just switch to defense and just hold our ground. We don't need any more land in there, quite frankly. Cape Colony is improving relations. Well, that's very nice of them. Okay, 1 more week and they'll surrender. Or accept the peace deal, rather. There we go. Proposed peace deal. There we go. So we didn't actually have time to lose that battle yet. But let's have a look at the stuff in here. So I suppose it didn't change any of the... Well, I suppose it's probably easier to just check through here. So livestock ranches. We do have a little bit of these that we never switched, I dare say, but oh right, that could actually use rail transportation. We don't have a revolution going on right now, so we could actually start improving the situation finally in here. So we're going to reduce the tooling workshops. We'll just go to level 1. That'll probably be fine. The wheat farms will hold in there. I don't think we need arms industries in here, let's be honest. That's going to free up a little bit of workers. Munitions plant is probably not needed in here either, although it does have lead in there, so actually that might be a good one to have. Same with the chemical plant. Well, I suppose that... you could have a fishing trawler there, I suppose. And then the plantations over here, these are already using the stuff, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they are using the railways. Okay, good. Or rail transportation, so that's good. We got 4 million radicals already, again. I suppose we didn't get that massive of an increase in population total. I mean, a little bit more. Oh, right, the government administration. Okay, that is already set up correctly, so that we did get a bit more bureaucracy. I could potentially incorporate... I mean, Eritrea is a fairly cheap one. It doesn't have a massive population, but we could just get a little bit of incorporation going. We need about 400 bureaucracy to incorporate Amhara, so that's going to have to wait a little bit of time, I reckon. They are building a lot of... Oh, we're building a lot of railways in here. I think a little bit by the private sector and a little bit by my own industry in here. Oh, that's... Yemen is getting a railway there. Okay. Oh, that was something that they started building on their own already. Okay, how's the infrastructure levels in here? It's still pretty bad. Partially because the port is probably... Well, I mean, I suppose it is providing the infrastructure in there already. Is there anything else that we could reduce in here then? Maybe we don't need a textile mill. So we'll reduce that one. That's going to free up a little bit of workforce. And the furniture manufacturer we can probably get rid of as well. So now we're down to 16 out of 11. So it's already a little bit better than once the railway over here... Oh, there's 4 levels of railway. Right, I'm going to put in the wooden passenger carriages. Just to increase the stuff in there. And I suppose it does decrease the employment a little bit as well. So we'll actually be providing at least a bit more transportation overall. Maybe the infrastructure levels aren't going to be quite as good. But it's not the worst. Okay, gold bleaching is about to be done. So that's good. We've got 20 infamy right now, so we can't really expand too much yet. But it doesn't take too much longer until we can... Well, I suppose Kathiri is still out there improving relations with us. Fair enough, fair enough. Chemical bleaching unlocked. So let's go into the urban sector here. So we'll just put in the bone china. And then in the paper mills, we could go for the paper bleaching. So that's going to require a bit more dyes, but that's fine. We produce a lot more paper. And then the chemical plant... Oh, right, chemical plants aren't all using this stuff yet. Right, so that's going to allow us to get some more explosives. Open centers, we are going to use some glass there on all of them. That's good. I suppose that's all of the things that we needed to do. And there, but we are unfortunately out of time for this episode. So if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, check out the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.